It's Wednesday, March 8th, 2023. Today's video may trigger some people. It may upset some people that I know. It may upset you. It may upset some people that you know, your friends. It may upset some family members. But we're going to keep it real here. And I want to talk today about making excuses and why all of us must stop making excuses. There are way too many people out there making excuses, and many people that I know, friends of mine, they're still making excuses, and I'm sure many of you can relate to this. And again, it may upset some people that I'm talking about this. It may trigger some people. It may make you feel uncomfortable. That's just the way it goes. That's what it's all about. I hope it makes you feel uncomfortable, because that's the only way you're going to be able to take action and prepare. I jotted down some notes today. We're going to talk about an array of things, but I had to jot down some notes here. There's a lot to talk about, but as things get worse, I've noticed some people take action, some people prepare, and then there's other people that do absolutely nothing, because I believe that if they do something, they're going to have to admit to themselves that something's wrong, that things are getting a bit dangerous. And basically, it's almost psychological, right? If they don't do anything, if they don't take any action, then there's no danger. But if they do begin to take action, then there is danger, and that scares people. And there are things out there that are beginning to scare people, and they're ignoring the warning signs. They're ignoring the danger, and that is a terrible, terrible strategy. It's going to get you hurt. So some people accept reality. Some people deny reality, and the people that continue to deny reality, the people who continue to not take action, not prepare, these people are going to lose, and they're going to get hurt real bad, financially, maybe even physically. And I cannot stress the importance of taking action right now and preparing and being multidimensional. You know, there's people out there who go, oh, I have all this gold, I have all this silver, I have, you know, all this emergency food, I have, I have a bug out bag, etc. But they're not preparing themselves or their minds for what is about to take place. It's easy to go and buy stuff. It's much more difficult when you have to physically train, when you have to put some skin in the game, when you have to feel some pain, when you have to begin to challenge yourself. And that could be many different things. Working out at the gym, working on MMA, jiu-jitsu, boxing, things like that. And just getting in better physical shape and preparing yourself to deal with force. I don't understand how people that understand, that realize what's happening, are not preparing themselves mentally and physically right now, and getting in a mindset for what's coming. If you've never dealt with force before, how are you going to deal with force when it comes to you? Are you going to just all of a sudden know how to deal with it? This is why you have to be challenging yourself right now, training on how to deal with force, because more than likely, a lot of people watching this video, you're going to be dealing with it. Now, a lot of people will make multiple excuses of why they can't get to the gym, why they can't train jiu-jitsu or boxing and get into a studio, why they can't buy the emergency food, why they can't buy the precious metals, etc. And it's mainly because they say they don't have any money. And I find this fascinating, because it's always these people, at least people I know, that say they have no money, but they're always on social media taking pictures of the $8 latte at Starbucks, taking pictures of the dinner they had last Saturday night, taking pictures gambling in Las Vegas, taking pictures in the new car that they leased. But they're the same people that have no money for precious metals, no money to go out and train, no money to prepare, no money to put emergency food away, the same people. And so it amazes me the amount of excuses that I continue to see out there. Comment down below. Are you seeing the same thing? Are your family members, your friends making excuses? Are they just not realizing the danger that is out there and not taking action? Now, switching gears here, I want to acknowledge a comment that I read today. Somebody said that it's doubtful I'm telling the truth. And please comment down below. If you think I'm not telling the truth daily, please call me out on it. Comment down below. I would love to know what I'm not telling the truth about, because I'm just relaying a message here from all the data that I read every day and breaking it down so that all of you have an understanding of what is going on. And also included in that is what a lot of the people in the comments are saying, what's happening in their towns, their areas, their families, what's happening in their job markets, what's happening just in their standard of living. So if I'm lying, please call me out on it. I would love to know. Because I'm just relaying the message here from all the data that I'm reading. Somebody said, the same person here said, it's a lie that our government is going to give or sell F-16s over to Eastern Europe there. Well, no, we're not going to sell them because all their money is coming from us. There is talks right now, whether you want to believe it or not. First off, what are we sending? 32, 33 tanks over there. We've already sent $115 billion. We're going to send billions more. And now even talks that we're going to be sending soldiers over there. And this individual says that I'm lying because I said that there's a huge possibility, and more than likely, we're going to be sending F-16s over there. Now, if you haven't read that in news, online or watching news, whether it's CNN, MSNBC, Fox, whatever, I don't know what to tell you, because it's been all over national news that there is talks that we may be sending F-16s over there. Now, this, for some reason, really bothered this individual. But again, we've just sent over $115 billion. And I guess you don't have an issue with that, while people here are starving, our infrastructure is crumbling, our pensions are unfunded, we're looking at major debt and deficits in this country, people now getting their food stamps cut, and are going to be, millions of people are going to be food insecure here, food lines miles long. We have so many problems in this nation, but you're more concerned about whether we're going to sell or give F-16s to Ukraine when we've already given them $115 billion. I don't get it. But let's just go back to some of the things I've discussed with many of you, and you've discussed the same things with me. 5 years ago, let's just go back 5 years ago. Was it, was it a bad idea to buy precious metals 5 years ago? If you did, you've done quite well up to this point, even though they've been pushed down a bit, you've done quite well. How about debts and deficits? Have the debts and deficits improved or gotten bigger over the last 5 years? And this is about how long I've been making these videos talking about these problems, warning all of you to wake up and get ready, because big debts, big deficits mean big trouble. How about the dollar? Is the dollar buying more today or less? How about gas? You paying more or less for gas than you were 5 years ago? Again, I don't know how some of these people have an issue. I mean, I know that we have an issue where there is an illiteracy problem. I know that some people have mental issues, and I'm not judging, I'm not making fun of this individual. But to sit here and call me out that I'm not telling the truth, I mean, you're a very ignorant human being. There's no doubt about it. Either that, or you do have a mental issue, or you're very illiterate, and I do hope you get help. Maybe you can get some counseling, maybe you get some tutoring. I pray to God you just open your eyes and see what is going on. Have you taken a look at what's happening in society over the last 5 years? Do you think society is more stable or more unstable than it was 5 years ago? How about inflation? To this individual, how's inflation look 5 years ago when I was making videos to today, when I was warning people about inflation, warning people about the dollar, warning about debts, warning about deficits, warning about things just getting completely unbalanced in society? I mean, I don't have a crystal ball. I'm not a mind reader. I'm just taking the data daily and trying to connect the dots the best that I can and make a forecast. And I don't think I was too far off, and I don't think too many of you were too far off. We discussed daily, yearly, that things are going to continue to get worse, and they are. And now, we're not just talking about F-16s. We're talking about nuclear war. We're talking about a third world war. How about the cost of living to this individual? Is your cost of living up or down from 5 years ago? How about your wages? They up or down? Real wages are down. How about food shortages? Were we talking food shortages 3, 4, 5 years ago? No, we are now. How about food prices? I've never seen food prices like they are today. It is shocking, and I don't know how people are doing it. We talked about many years ago getting a skill set, being your own central bank, being self-sufficient. Is there anything untruthful about that? I think people who've done that over the years have done very, very well and really have protected themselves. National debt, $31.5 trillion. Does that make you feel comfortable? You sleep good at night with that? Social Security, pensions, 401ks have been absolutely decimated from 5 years ago to today. Last year, 401ks lost an average 23%. I believe 63+% of pensions in this country are unfunded and climbing. And they're saying Social Security is going to run out by 2034. So I don't know. Has it gotten better? Or has it gotten worse over the last 5 years? I would say, since I've been making these videos, it has gotten much, much worse. And that is why I continue to make these videos, to wake people up so that they get ready and prepare so they are not hurt. But this individual thinks that I'm lying. And that's very unfortunate, because if this individual thinks that things are better, that thinks that debt and deficits aren't an issue, that you shouldn't own precious metals, that you shouldn't have skill set, that you shouldn't be your own central bank, then this person's living in the Twilight Zone. I really feel sad for you. There's something unfortunately wrong with you, and I hope that you get help, counseling, or tutoring, and get the help that you need, because you're going to be in very, very big trouble here. Now, let's get into another article in the news today from The Hedge. Good news is bad news again. Jobs data jolts market, sends rate hike odds soaring. Dow Jones down only 58 today. It was down over 200 earlier. Could have been much, much worse today. NASDAQ up 45. 10-year bond yield was hovering right around 4% today. Right now, as I make this video, it's at 3.989. I have no doubt now that I believe it's going to be March 16th. Correct me if I'm wrong. That will be the rate hike. It's going to be 50 basis points, in my opinion. Many people thought it would be 25. As of a few days ago, maybe a week ago, I thought it would be 25. I now believe, because of the news we're getting, private payrolls rose by 242,000 in February, better than expected, ADP says. I think you're going to see I'm going to say 90% chance right now, 90% chance, 50 basis points, March 16th. Let me know, comment down below, what is it going to be, 25, 50, or 75? I'm not even going to rule out 75. I hope that Jerome Powell has the guts. He needs the guts to do a couple things. He needs the guts to continue to raise rates aggressively, and he needs to call the government out and tell the government, you need to stop spending money. The Fed is spinning their wheels. The Fed's got to do something. They're aware of that. They have to raise rates. I think if the government stopped spending, they would raise rates more aggressively and really attack inflation. But at some point, Jerome Powell is going to have to get some guts here. He's going to have to get more aggressive, and he's going to have to come out and acknowledge that the government is outspending the rate hikes that the Fed is doing here, and the Fed is going to have no effect on inflation if the government continues this spending spree. So I hope that he has the guts to keep getting more aggressive and the guts to call out the government and beg them, ask them, tell them, stop spending money. The estimate for private payrolls was 205,000, and we've got private payrolls at 242,000, that from the ADP. Again, this is not good news for the markets. The Fed is going to have to get more aggressive. They're getting the opposite results here, the opposite effect. Now, are these numbers legit? Do you believe these payroll numbers? Do you believe the unemployment numbers? Do you believe the inflation numbers? I don't. I really don't. Leisure and hospitality led the way with 83,000 additions. So we have more waiters, more waitresses, more coffee baristas, more people in the service sector, more people working at restaurants and hotels. So not high-paying jobs. These are mainly going to be part-time, low-wage jobs, no benefits, no room to grow, no room for opportunity. And so we're going to just continue to see these type of jobs. And we're told that The economy is great. There's tons of jobs out there. But when you dig down deep and you look at how many people are working 2 or 3 jobs, and you look at a majority of these jobs as part-time with no benefits and low wage, how great is the economy really doing? Larry McDonald, author of the best-selling book on the Lehman Brothers collapse, he says stock market will crash in 60 days. What do you think about that? It could crash tomorrow. It could crash in 6 months. Who knows? They are doing everything in their power to just keep this thing glued together. It's amazing when I watch these financial channels, how all they do all day long is cheerlead these markets. They never see any danger. There's nothing wrong. It's just a bad day. Everything's going to be fine. They always have an excuse of why the market's down. And why you need to be buying into it. Nobody ever warns you of the risk and how bad this is going to be. Larry McDonald goes on to say, the withdrawal of capital from the middle class is spectacular as the Fed continues its most aggressive rate hikes. He says for every 1% increase in rates, $50 billion is taken out of the pockets of the middle class. Now, nobody was worried about this when rates were literally zero. Nobody worried about this when $7 trillion got injected into the economy. People were buying cars. People were taking vacations. People were buying second homes. People were living like there was no tomorrow. Nobody was worried about this. And now people are beginning to worry. There's a price to pay for all this easy money. And now we're going to pay that price. Auto loans are approaching 14% on average. Almost 20% of auto loans. The payment is $1,000 or more per month. This is absolutely hammering the middle class, according to the article. The wealthy, on the other hand, doing quite well as they have excess savings, excess cash, and with higher interest rates, they're doing quite well. The average American, though, has no savings. Here's another one from this one comes from Fox Business today. Americans feeling most pessimistic about financial future since 2010 survey shows. Just 31% expect their personal financial situation to improve over the next year. So that means 69% don't expect their financial situation to improve over the next year. Food and rent, they say, is killing the average American standard of living. They just cannot keep up with the inflation. Silvergate, how about this one? Shutting down operations and liquidating bank. This is one of the 2 main crypto banking giants. Their stock right now, as I make this video, is down over 25% after hours. They said here, all deposits will be repaid according to Silvergate. We'll see. How would you like to have some money in Silvergate right now? I hope you get your money back. And what does this mean for crypto? Is this good news for the crypto markets? Probably not. Again, if you don't hold it, you don't own it. I think we are in a time right now where it is so important to be defensive. Yet everybody on the television is telling you to take a chance, roll the dice, buy a house, jump into these markets, maybe even buy some crypto. Here's one from The Hedge. Amazon announces store closures in high crime cities. They're going to be closing 7 grocery stores in cities like New York, San Francisco. They've already closed 2 in Seattle. They're going to close 8 out of its 29 Amazon Go stores. This is going to affect the average good person in these cities. And it's also going to affect the cities because that tax revenue is going to go with these stores. So that's a lot of revenue for these cities. It's gone in Seattle already, New York, San Francisco going to be gone. And it's an inconvenience for the average good citizens. And of course, when the tax revenue goes, more than likely they're going to tax the average good citizens to make up for the losses. But this crime wave that we're seeing in America, wow, we've always had crime. But if we go back a few years ago, compared to where we're at today, it is unbelievable. It is on steroids. Another one coming from CNBC. 3 in 4 women say that they're unprepared for a recession in the coming year. 56% of Americans, all Americans, 56% male or female, do not have $1,000 saved up. 65% of men are not prepared for a recession. So, according to this article, a few things you can do is boost up your savings. Find a way to improve your income. That means get a side hustle. Cut back on discretionary spending. That means get rid of the $8 lattes every day. Put $10, $20 a week away, whatever you can, put it away. And they also said this, invest in the stock market. It's the most democratic way to build wealth. Historical data shows that staying the course is a winning strategy. That might have been true many, many years ago, but we now have markets that have been completely hijacked. We've had markets that have just been addicted to tons of easy money. And we are now going to pay the price for all this. And there is no rescue from the Fed coming anytime soon, ladies and gentlemen. So I personally, I agree with everything they say, except I would stay because I don't think it's the most democratic way to build wealth at this point. These markets are so rigged, so manipulated, and so addicted to easy money. And these markets cannot function and will not survive without easy money. And they're not going to see any easy money anytime soon. These markets are in big trouble. Everyone knows it. The banks know it. The people at the very top know it, and you know it. So be aware of what is coming. I think the stock market now is a bad strategy. I think it's all about cash, precious metals, being extremely defensive, and having zero debt. That's my strategy. You can do whatever you want to do. Last article of the day, titled Real Estate Markets Are Addicted to Easy Money. Well, we know mortgage applications are at a 28-year low. It says without central bank propping up the mortgage-backed securities demand in the secondary market, primary mortgage lenders have fewer dollars to throw around, and that means higher rates and fewer eligible, fewer qualified buyers for homes. So, are things getting better or are they getting worse? The question is now, how bad is this thing going to get and how long is it going to last? And are you prepared to weather the storm? This thing is not going to be over in 6 months or a year, ladies and gentlemen. We are now in a depression, and this depression is getting worse, and this depression is going to last years. And if you're not prepared to weather the storm, if you're still making excuses, if you're not taking action, you're going to lose. I'm going to leave it there today. God bless every one of you. Please give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you share it, and please make sure you subscribe to this channel. God bless you all. I look forward to speaking with all of you soon. We'll see what happens tomorrow. But we are no doubt in uncharted water at this point, and you need to be prepared.